Hi, welcome. Consider you've created your game using Unity and you have many problems such as FPS drop, memory leak, or even crashes. These problems happen because of the issues and problems in the code and your codes are not optimized. In this video, I will introduce some tips and techniques to enhance the performance and optimize your scripts in Unity C#, so stick around until the end. The first step is the easy method that related to the for loop. Consider you write a simple for loop, and here let's declare a public game object, an array game object, and objects. We want to put this array in the for loop and call setActive and for body. So we have a simple for loop if equals to objects dot length I plus plus. Alright, here we need to call objects I dot setActive, for example, false. Don't write this code because each time in the for loop you're calling the length and it's not optimal. That length is an overhead, especially in the for loop or even update method, fixed update, and so on. So what's the appropriate way? Here you need to declare a variable and, for example, len, and here you need to get the length, and instead of the dot length and calling it each time, you need to call this len. You just get the dot length once and use this variable in the for loop. This is the proper and the most optimized way. The next step is related to the for each loop. Don't use for each in many cases. For example, if you want to iterate an object of a struct, use the for each carefully. It can make some issues with GC or garbage collector. For example, consider this is a struct, not a class, and here we use for each instead of the for loop, regular for loop. Here we need to declare a game object and G in objects. And here we call setActive and make it false. This code has more overhead compared to for loop. So try to use for loop instead of for each. The next step is related to getting the transform and game object from the parent, from the monoBehavior class. Here we have transform or game object properties. They're not actually variable, they are getters, they are properties. And getting the values from properties has overhead because we don't have access to the variable and the value directly. We need to call the property. So what we need to do, consider we need to translate and move the object or rotate the object in the update method, and each time, each frame, we call the transform that inherited from the monoBehavior. This work has a big overhead, so we need to declare a private transform and current, for example. And here in the awake, you can get the transform and put it inside the current transform object. And here, instead of the calling the transform, which is inherited from monoBehavior, we can call the current and, for example, translate or rotate it. You can do this work with game object and other properties inherited from monoBehavior. We have many methods to get a component. For example, get component in children, or finding a specific game object in the scene. For example, find with tag, find with other methods. These methods have overhead. and try to avoid them. But if you want to use them, you can get your specific game object or component in the vague and store it in a variable and use it in update, instead of getting a game object using the find method in the update frequently. For example, here let's declare a game object and name it target, and in the find method you need to call the game object and find by name. Target game object, which consider we have this object in the scene, and here you can call it in the update frequently, and it has not overhead too much, and don't use this code in the update. And also the get component. For example, you want to access the animator attached to the current game object, don't use it. Declare an animator and get the component in the vague and put it inside the animator variable. But anyway, find method is not optimized because it will compare all the game objects in the scene, which maybe you have 1000 game objects with this name, and then will get the desired game object. It is not optimized. You can create a class, for example, global variables, and declare a static variable and put UI manager and other game objects you want to access here inside that static variable and get it from here instead of using find. I will explain this method in future videos. Another simple tip is related to comparing the tags. For example, when you want to compare a tag, let's get the game object. That tag equals to player, then do work. But this is slower than this method. Game object dot compare tag and then player. It will compare the tag related to the current game object with this. It is faster. Alright, the next step is related to using the delta time. For example, you want to move and translate an object. You will multiply a specific speed in time.delta time, like this. Transform.translate new vector tree and one for the speed and multiply it by time.delta time and 0 for other axis. This work is not bad at all, but if you want, for example, adding a for loop and I less than 100, I plus plus, if you put this code inside the for loop, this is less efficient. Instead of it, you need to declare a float delta and time dot delta time. You need to put this inside the delta, and instead of it, use delta, because this for loop executes in only one frame. It takes one frame to execute, and this work is much better. Actually, you reduce 100 extra getter. The next step is related to setting a position. Consider we have a y-axis that we use math.sin and time delta time multiply by 5 float. Here I wanna set the y position, the y-axis of the position of the transform with this value. Don't do this. Position equals to new vector tree and transform.position.x and y, which is this variable, and transform.position.z. It's not good because you are creating a new vector every frame. Instead of it, you can do this. Create a new vector tree, for example, pose and transform.position. And here pose.y equals to y, which is this variable, and transform.position equals to compose. We just replace the variables and play with variables instead of creating a new vector tree every frame. The next step is related to instantiate method, which will spawn a new game object for us. We want to spawn an explosion, VFX or bullet or anything else. Try to instantiate all your objects in the awake or stored and store those objects, and when you want to spawn a new bullet, for example, you can activate that game object that exists already and change its position. If input dot get key code dot mouse 0, which is the left click. Here let's declare a new variable of game object bullet. Here instantiate the bullet. Next, we need to give it a position, for example, transform.position, and a rotation that we will send quaterning.ident. With this code, a memory leakage will be cured, and it's not good at all. You can use this technique, and here instantiate the object in the wake or stored and store it in an array of game objects or one single variable or a list if you want multiple bullets. Let's use a list using system.collection.generic. Here we can declare list of game objects and bullet instances. And here we need to call the bullet instances and add method to add this to the bullet. And here we can use a for loop and instantiate 100, 200, and so on, and add it to the list. And here, instead of instantiating, you can use one of these bullets, and you can also check it. For example, use a for each. For each is not good at all, but here I will use it to speed up the process. Game object be in bullet instances. And here, if be active self, which here we can check it. If it's not activated, we can activate it. Set active to true, and here we can change its position. Excuse me. Transform.position and return to break the for each loop. This is a pool system, and it's very optimized for generating and instantiating new objects in the scene. The next approach is related to the boxing and unboxing. If you don't know this subject, converting an object of a class, for example, let's declare a new class, human, and here let's declare a new object based on the human class. Here, if we declare an object variable and put the human inside this object, this is boxing. And when we convert the object to human again, this process is unboxing. So in the case we have a struct here instead of a class, you shouldn't do this work because structs are value types and boxing can make an overhead for us. Objects are value type and structs are value type, and this is an overhead. But anyway, boxing and unboxing is very necessary for some areas and places. Not all the places don't use them anywhere. The next approach is statics. Statics are general methods, classes, and variables that are accessible in the entire project. And we can't create an instance based on a static class. So if you want to declare a new method inside a class that work on a general job, declare it as static. For example, here we have a class game math, and here we have a public method and calculate health. It's a simple method. It gets a health and damage, and it will calculate something. For example, return mathf.clamp, and we need to clamp it. Here we need to write health minus damage and clamp it. The minimum value is 0 and the maximum value is 100. So when we want to use this method and class, we need to get an instance and declare using the new keyword, and it is unnecessary because we can make it static. It is a general work and we can use it anywhere we want. For example, here let's declare a new method. Here we can call calculate health easily without getting an instance from this class. As I said, it is unnecessary and we don't need to use non-static classes and methods here. You can here pass a health and damage easily and get the returned value. But if you want a more complicated work to do, you can declare non-static classes, and in those cases static classes are not necessary. Alright, these are some tips that you can use and optimize your script and get a better use of RAM and CPU and avoid frame drops, memory leakage, and crashes. Also, if you know other tips, you can write in the comments. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Feel free to share questions and ideas in the comments.